Introducing fighting pride of Newbridge, Wales, former undisputed super middleweight world champion and reigning, defending, light heavyweight champion of the world, Calzaghe.
Okay, gentlemen, women know the rules of the dressing room. Obey my commands at all times and protect yourself at all times. Touch him up.
It was like my life was flicking through all my career, looking around and just taking it in, just looking around thinking, look where I am. There's no way I'm going to throw everything away in my last fights.
It's another wet day. I remember these steps. I created them, one by one. There are 36 up there, 36 coming down. So look. Pretend it's going to be hard to get in here. So people are going to rob me. So it's really hard. This is it. There you are. Bingo, the lights are back on. I must have paid the rent. You can imagine what it's like inside in here. You don't work, you don't eat. We had 5 kids, so my dad worked his bollocks off, day and night, day and night. I got brought up to hope about him, wish about him. I wish he'd seen me playing football. I wish he would turn up. I knew my dream was to be a footballer. And he told me, no, leave football alone and try music, because my uncle wanted me to be a bass player. So there you are. I couldn't argue with that at all. And then I became a musician. My dream kept going. I'm gonna leave Sardinia. I gotta follow the music. I gotta leave. And that's what happened. I ran away, And I'd put 2 words on the wall when I left. Ritorno quando sono milionario. I'll come back when I'm a millionaire. And that's on the wall. They couldn't believe it. I went hitchhiking all around Europe, and I ended up in Cardiff, Wales. I met Jackie, and we were married 4 weeks later. It was love at first sight.
First time I actually hit something was not a punch bag. I think it was my dad's hands, a rolled up carpet, and settee cushions, watching the Rocky films. My dad, I think he worked as a bus conductor, but mainly as a musician, you know, he'd do gigs. My mum was a housewife, obviously myself and 2 younger sisters. So yeah, it was pretty hard.
Dad had a, pad or something, didn't he?
He bought Joe one of those stand-on pads. didn't
That's
he?
right.
For Christmas, and I just remember Joe just punching at it, and Dad was like, oh, he just noticed something different about Joe, the way he was doing it.
I just picked bits and pieces of Ali, the way he threw his jab, Sugar Ray Leonard. You know, I copied a bit, you know, and I let him do things on the bag, on this ball. Not with any intention to turn him into a boxer.
I always remember the first day going to a gym, like a little tiny, skinny little 9-year-old. Actually, it was quite frightening, because I remember walking in and just the smell of the gym and the sweat and see big guys, the noise on the bags as the bags were swinging around. And I had this nervousness. Wow, you know, never see anything like it. I was made of wood and tin. It was always freezing cold and dusty and dirty. Basically, the council said it was so unsafe. It was going to fall down any time.
A guy called Paul Williams was there, and Paul said to me, has he trained before? No. Has he been to the gym? No, never has. Okay.
Put your hands up. I think he tried to stand me as a right-hander. Obviously, me being a lefty, I'm a southpaw. So I stood straight up, put my hands up. You know, and he said, like, double jab left, and I'd done exactly what he said.
You got an open class boy there. So open class, I didn't have a clue what that meant. I asked everyone, hey mate, do you know open class, what that mean? That means very special. And Joe came back and said, Dad, I liked it.
We were taking a walk with my mother. She kind of, thought there was something wrong with him because, with all his gestures all the time, just punching the air, Oh, he was trying to catch flies, mosquitoes. He knocked flies out, believe it or not. He did. It's not a joke.
I realised I'm never going to play for Italy or Juventus or Wales or for any team like that. My hands were a lot quicker than my feet. Paul Williams was my main trainer at the time. I go Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays to the boxing gym. But every other day, my father trained me. And I train myself, so I train every day, most 3 times a week, like a professional.
It's his choice to be a boxer, not me making a boxer. He knew himself how good he was. He knew.
In the red corner from Wales, Calzaghe.
Just being the champion, being the winner, to become the best. And that's what motivated me more than anything. Was I a happy kid? Yes and no, I suppose. It was hard. When I got a bit older, I suffered a lot of bullying. Not physical, but verbal.
And we were bullied
as well
severely
because
for
we
it.
were his sister.
I never told Joe because we were fighting that Joe would do some mad and you'd get in trouble. So I never ever told Joe. It was horrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was terrible.
I was like a ski boy from a different area. I was a British champion, obviously, and picked on by older kids. And because I was pretty quiet, you know, I'd take it to heart.
There wasn't that many foreigners as well in our days, and I think a lot of it came because Dad was foreign. We had a lot of things with spaghetti.
It was our name as well.
Calzaghe.
Calzaghe was like the...
Yeah.
I was called a dirty, stinking ate. Look at this, look at olive oil guy, you know. Joe probably was isolated. He had a brother with him because he had a brother, they weren't bullying.
Joe and Whitley as well, he had a lot of girl attention, which Joe never wanted because Joe was so shy, because he was a good-looking boy. And there's a lot of jealousy, I think, because of that as well.
One day they came to the house and there was about 40 of them on bikes.
Yeah, they did, yeah. So Dad just said, come in one by one and I'll beat them up. You know, just have a go. They didn't, they all just drove off on their bikes, didn't they? I find that difficult to talk about.
I find it hard to talk about. It upsets me.
Boxing was my way of escaping and having self-worth, you know, feeling good about myself.
I think that when he was taking the physical pain, it was taking his emotional pain out, because Joe is such an emotional person. He's so sensitive, it's unbelievable. I think that was his way of getting, when he'd come from school feeling so hurt, that he would go and do that, and he would get that anger out.
Everything's meant for a reason. I look back at everything, I don't regret nothing, you know. Maybe it toughened me up, maybe it made fighters that tried to bully me verbally. Maybe that education in school made me strong.
Joe Calzaghe, 18 years old. From Newbridge Way, Joe Calzaghe. He really has got something going for him out there.
You know, my trainer in Poland wanted me to turn pro with him. He come up trying to maybe sign something to manage me. I was still a kid, and I thought, I can't do this.
The experience now of Michael Smythe catching up with Calzaghe. He's good, but he's got to be careful.
And I just told him and Paul, give the keys to my dad. And I never saw him again. My dad took over.
I'll manage it myself. But what happened, every boxer disappeared. There's a one man alone, it's just me. I spent everything I had to carry on with the gym.
At the time, we were playing in a band, me and Enzo. Picked up the phone. He said, I'm going to quit. I said, what do you mean you're going to quit? You can't quit. I mean, you know, we're near to a record deal and stuff like that. He said, no. He said, I'm going to train my son. Like, I was a bit shocked, you know, because he didn't have that experience, you know.
I said, Joe, what shall we do? Paul's gone. Crack on, Dad. Just get on with it. Fuck him. You know, get on with it. So he gave me the power of thinking we could still do it.
Round 2 of this ABA welterweight final. Wearing the red singlet, the Welsh champion Joe Calzaghe, who's only 19, trained by his father Enzo, Italian ancestry.
Let's see if I can be a part of him. Let's see if I can be a trainer. Let's see if I can be a pusher.
Calzaghe!
Joe needed a push, a guy who can push.
Calzaghe, probably the only boxer in the world with a singer-songwriter as a trainer.
It's been stopped. Then Joe Calzaghe has won another ABA championship.
Everyone knew he was talented. He's a one and only.
I don't believe it's been done before. No, I think anyone's ever done it at 3 different weights. I'll be the first.
He's one of these boxers who has no doubt at all in his mind when he goes into the ring that he's going to be the dominant character. Soaking up punch after punch. So it's all over, and it looks pretty clear that Joe Calzaghe has done it again to win 3 titles in a row at different weights.
Joe had his own style. He was a southpaw, obviously, and very adept and very athletic. But he had a father who was not classically trained as an amateur boxer, but he'd been in the musical world, playing in a band. He's got that energy about him. But what he did was he transferred a lot of musical movement into Joe throwing 5, 6, and 7 punch combinations.
Doesn't every song start off with a verse? Which is jab, jab. After the verse, you're going to be late. Bring it forward, bring it forward. Then you got the chorus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, bam, bam, knockout part. What do you combination? What do you want to after? What do you want to? Bang, jab, bam, bam.
I remember I turned professional in 1993. I think I was 21. First pro fight was at the old stadium, Calzaghe Park. I remember boxing a guy called Paul Hanlon.
Joe Calzaghe, how good is he going to be here in this super middleweight division?
Yeah, I boxed on the undercard of Frank Bruno and Lennox Lewis, and I won the first round. Obviously, I stayed on after watch the fight with Lennox Lewis and Frank Bruno, and you know, to be when the crowd was full and the sense of atmosphere was amazing, and it's good tingles. I used to think to myself, this is what I want. One day, this is going to be me. Get up in the morning, rain, sleet or snow, just go for a run. Go to the gym, go home, come back and train again. That's it, every day, every single day.
I run, I jab, I work with it before he did it. And that's what Joe loved.
I just train 12 weeks before the fight. The first few weeks will be hard, then get into the groove. Start sparring. We had different combinations like A's, B's, and C's. We'd like throw 300 punches around possibly.
What if I've got a machine gun in my hands? 7 shots, you can hit him with 4. 5, you can hit him with. Common sense. Why not make boxing the same way? Rock and roll, bam, 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 bam. Numbers. You're gonna hit.
A lot of boxing writers, when he picked him, was their tip for the top. And look at the clusters here. Rosamond is taking a thorough pounding here. The referee has got to step in, and he has. 4 straight wins for Joe Calzaghe.
Wife Mandy is there. He's something of a family man, Joe Calzaghe, who never leaves home during his training. That's the way he likes it, and you have to respect that.
I was knocking everybody out. The first 21 fights, I knocked 20 out. 16 the first 2-3 rounds. I was named as Young Fight of the Year.
I was a smart mover. I was pretty good. Don't worry about that. I was pretty good. So therefore, if I caught him once, I used to go, here we go. He's coming. Bang! And I would look at my nose. Who busted that? I didn't bust it. Joe busted it.
Most of the time I was arguing with my dad. He was pretty fiery and he'd get on my nerves and I'd get on his nerves.
That's Italians anyway, they argue all the time.
But because Joe was his son, Dad didn't give a shit so that was what he said to Joe, so Dad could just let it go. So they just, it was just an explosion.
Never saw a contract still on my £300 a week. That was it, man. It was difficult from the start.
A lot of people have criticised Calzaghe for not having really fought anyone of note. Well, we can't be far from the finish now, surely. The referee, Coyle, looking very close. Well, it's all over now. As Joe Calzaghe's father, Enzo, lifts him high. The new British super middleweight champion, Joe Calzaghe. There he is, and who knows where that championship could take him. You're meant to come. Stay with us. Joe Calzaghe!
Referee Denzel Lewis is looking on here. There's nothing coming back. And Torres takes refuge from the canvas. is horribly one-sided. Calzaghe has won. Are you getting a bit fed up because they keep putting you in these high-profile fights, and then everybody moans about the quality of the opponents and said, oh, well, what's Joe Calzaghe proved now? I mean, what's your reaction to all that?
It's nothing to do with the class of the opponent. People are saying that, but people don't realise just how good I am. And until I'm fighting for a world title, then they're going to see what Joe Calzaghe is all about, because I'm going to destroy anybody who's going to get in the ring with me. I'm only on 70% so far. When I get that world title fight, that's different. You're going to see how what.
Well, let's bring in Frank Warren here, who's saying off microphone there was nothing wrong with that opponent. Explain.
Well, you're saying that Joe, the opponent that Joe had in front of him tonight was no good.
I don't think he was a particularly great fighter. I'm not criticising Joe's performance. He's done the job.
I mean, what do you want to see? You want to see him have a 12-round war or something, and then you'll be satisfied? It won't happen because they can't take the power, they can't take the hand speed. He's done well at this level. He will be stepped up another level. He will fight for a world title. It will happen this year, and I don't agree with what you're saying. You're doing him a disservice.
He made him look bad, because his style of boxing was unique. So they always had something against what Joe was achieving. And I've got to say this now, it pissed me off big time.
Joe's relationship with his father is a very complex one, because this man, when he was going out to a fight, he's going to let his son be injured. The son was going to trust his father, who's sitting at his corner. And I think it is an immense accolade to both Enzo and Joe that they managed to keep that relationship, a very, very unusual relationship, but it seemed to work.
He's going to be worried. He's going to have fear. He thinks I'm going to win, but it's stressful for him as well. It's not like he just trained any other fight. He trained his son. That's about to get in the ring with somebody who's going to try and knock your head off, you know?
My son is going to a sport that's going to be very dangerous, right? And Joe knew that and accepted the consequences.
My mum, she's totally opposite of my dad. She never wanted me to box. She said, oh, Joe, you know, do something else. But what are you boxing for, getting punched in the head?
I've never been to any Joe's fights, no. I couldn't bear it, no. It's horrible. It's a horrible feeling. And I did see Johnny Owen going down.
Down for the second time in his boxing career. The only times he's ever been down, and he's in trouble now.
And I can remember he went down and he didn't get back up.
A father has to teach his son how to live. A trainer has to teach his son how to fight. Those are not always compatible.
Years before, if you wanted to ruin a fighter, you had him trained by his father. I mean, there were almost virtually no success stories.
I'm not a masochist. I'm a father, but in that ring, it's war. He chose to go to war. I chose to be with him in the war. Now, of course, I got sentiments, but I got no sentiment whatsoever for that 36 minutes of fight. I got no sentiments. I can't have sentiments. I can't. I wish I had, but I haven't gotten. Because simply is that. That's my kid. I'm putting to war. I'm putting him to war. Right? He's got to get out that war.
Conference. He looked at me and laughed. He went, hey kid, I'm going to take you somewhere you've never been before. I'm going to take you into the trenches. I'm thinking, yeah, right, okay.
for the vacant WBO Super Middleweight Championship of the World.
I was complete, I was total, I was pure as a fighter. I was always in shape, and I'd been training from the day I started. I never had breaks. When I was going to fight Joe Calzaghe, I knew that he was unbeaten. I knew he was serviceable. I'd watched him fight. I thought that perhaps he has never fought anyone like me.
Chris
I am pure. I'm a very difficult man to beat because it's not about money. It's about honor.
All right, gentlemen. We went over the rules in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Give me good sportsmanlike conduct. Obey my commands at all times. Shake hands. Good luck.
I didn't know whether his punching ability was real. Fast hands, yes, but you have to have lead. You have to have heavy hands.
Eubank on the floor. What a start from Calzaghe!
I remember landing on my back. I missed the seat of my pants. Is how hard this shot came out of nowhere.
Caught him the left hook. First 15 seconds, he went flying across the ring, landed on his ass, man. I thought, this is gonna be easy. What are you talking about? Just Eubank all about.
Bingo! Fucking dropped him down and I said, fucking this, Joe! That's brilliant! Excellent! That's still going to last another round. Fucking brilliant, get on with it.
All his so-called slaps, they were hard punches. He was a hurtful puncher. Fast and hard. And at that point in the first round, I knew I would have to be resourceful.
Motherfucker. He got up and he was a good fighter. He was a good fighter.
Good body shot from Eubank. 2 or 3.
Calzaghe there answered a lot of questions about his heart, his chin, his determination.
And his right to be here.
I mean, threw every punch I could possibly throw, 2 rounds, 3 rounds. I remember thinking, come back to stool. I was like breathing heavily, and he was still doing this little strut as he does, looking around, and I thought, damn, it's gonna be a hard night.
I knew in the 11th round, 12th round, I'd still be there. And if he isn't the real deal, I'll break him in those rounds.
You're doing good.
No one stops me. It's just a thing.
Eubank again goes for the fast start. Can he break Calzaghe's resistance?
Trust me, after 7 or 8 rounds, I felt I had nothing left in me. And wanted to win and just, coming through the pain barrier and getting my second win, and he was right. He did put me through the trenches.
That's how we do. That's how we do. We're real.
Oh, big left and the right. And Eubank, how did he stay up from those?
Calzaghe landing a good left hand there. It's a good exchange from him.
Eubank come back at him, letting go with right hand. He just cannot put out Calzaghe's fire, though.
And he stood strong. He had it all.
Walker scores the bout 118 to 109. Paul Thomas scores it 116 to 111, and Roy Francis scores it 118 to 111 for the winner, who is now WBO Super Middleweight Champion of the World, Joe Calzaghe.
Joe Calzaghe, world champion. How does that sound?
Sounds brilliant, you know, all the hard work I've done. I just thank God. Obviously, I thank my dad. I thank all the fans who come to support me tonight. They give me a lot of incentive, and it's only better to come.
I was not that familiar with Joe Calzaghe prior to him winning his first world title. But when he beat Chris Eubank, that was very exciting. And I realized this guy might be something. Unfortunately, then, he made a string of defenses that were mediocre at best. It was difficult to get excited by him in terms of rating him among the very best.
Calzaghe wants that finish here, and he might get it too, and it's stopped. It is over, and Calzaghe's retained his title in emphatic style. I hear in the build-up to this fight, too, you had a bit of a handicap with the sore hands. You weren't able to do very much sparring.
Well, in fact, I didn't do no sparring at all for this fight. I haven't sparred for maybe 2 months.
Come from beating Eubank and being there to suddenly underperforming and struggling.
Oh, terrific shot. We've shot at the fight. Right hand, and Calzaghe getting hit too often. He must have lost that round.
Very disappointing. It seems very much like he's losing his power. He used to have destructive punching power. Maybe that's beginning to evaporate.
We'll try and find reasons in a moment.
These little bones in your hand are called the metacarpals, and these were broken very early because when you keep on stressing that bone, it breaks. And unfortunately, even though it mends, it's actually a weakness.
I couldn't spar. I was seeing all these specialists, I was having all this treatment, I just couldn't punch. Simple as that. And to be honest, it's like a minor miracle I managed to be able to win fights, not training properly.
Sometimes Joe wouldn't lift a glove to punch another human being between ending one professional fight and starting another world title defense because his hands were so bad.
You don't want to mention the hand trouble, but we were wondering in the fight, because you seem to revert to your boxing skills quite early on. Has the hand gone again?
I think last year he was thinking he was going to become a millionaire overnight and his path would be paved with gold. It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't. It's a very tough sport and a very tough business, and you know, Calzaghe's beginning to learn how tough it is.
Frank Warren there, not happy with Joe Calzaghe's performance there, I think.
Good shots going in from Brewer now. This is a bad patch for Calzaghe.
I remember boos in the crowd. I had a meeting with Frank Warren. He said, listen, Joe, you gonna retire or what? It wasn't their option to stop. Young family, kids. Had to fight for money.
Calzaghe's down! That's the first time he's been down in his career. First time back in the ring in 8 months. He's had a back injury and there's been some domestic problems in the background.
There's a battle there that Joe had to do. He had to have a battle because, believe me, he was hurt. You think of doing it, you can cope with it. But when it had and it's been done, divorce, then you think. Truthfully, I didn't think he'd box anymore. I had to find a format to make him interested, that he had to train for this fight. Now, how you block that out? I couldn't block it out. It happened. It's reality. He had some fight. He had that in his mind. So imagine a guy got a fight. Can he concentrate on that? 12 rounds for a world title. His career could be going straight away. God tests everybody. It's what's inside of you that counts most of all. It's what's inside of you. It was a hard road. He was tested, and he got through it.
Still the undefeated Joe Calzaghe.
I think I was 34. I was 8 years of world champion. Not really given the respect in the States for doing what I did.
There's no doubt that there is an American bias when it comes to boxing. We have dominated the sport for the better part of 100 years. So as a result, he never got the credit he deserved from American fight fans for the simple reason that he was British, even though he was undefeated and even though he had a very lengthy title reign.
Jeff Lacey came with a big noise, a really, really dangerous hooker, a very powerful guy, incredible self-belief.
Undefeated in the professional ranks with a record of 21 wins, no losses, 1 no decision, with 17 wins coming by way of knockout.
He was hyped as a smaller version of Mike Tyson. He had the body and the story of his pro debut not happening because his opponent saw him take his shirt off at the weigh-in and left town, got into a bus and left. I'm not fighting that guy.
Here is the undefeated IBF and IBO super middleweight champion of the world, introducing Jeff Left Hook Lacey.
Jeff Lacey had been a U.S. Olympian and was knocking everybody out with this big left hook, so hence the nickname Left Hook Lacey.
His physical makeup was different to Joe. You know, he looked like a condom stuffed with walnuts. You know, he was properly built, Jeff Lacey.
From what we had seen, at least in this country, of Joe, we saw a fighter who was often technically inferior, slapped with his punches, was not the hardest guy to hit. So as a result, it was an easy pick, and virtually, I would say 95% of the U.S. media picked Jeff Lacey to win and fully expected him to knock out Joe Calzaghe.
"10 days to 2 weeks before the fight, I remember injuring myself.
Under no circumstances did Joe want to fight Jeff Lacey with a damaged hand. Joe started to believe this guy really is that good. Enzo had studied him extensively and didn't agree, and it was his job to try and cajole Joe into realizing that yes, this is a fight you can win injured.
Have you seen him? Lacey does 5 moves to throw 1 punch. do 5 punches in 1 move, you do.
I wanted to pull out the fight because I actually doubted myself. Scared of failure against this bad guy from America.
Do you know what happens if you don't fucking fight the fight? They call you a coward. They call you every name under the sun. If you can forget your boxing career, you're over.
And my dad said, you have to fight this fight. Joe, if you want to fight 1 arm, it doesn't matter. I'm proud of you no matter what. The day before the weigh-ins, I wake up and there's like a couple of feet of snow. And I can't explain it, it's magical. From that moment of walking into the garden, I had no nerves, I was completely calm. Everything was lifted off me.
He is making the 18th defense of his title. Ladies and gentlemen, the undefeated Joe Calzaghe.
All right, gentlemen, the time you've been waiting for is here. The opportunity of a lifetime, so remember, take advantage.
And I looked in his eyes, man, and I just knew I had him. He looked away, he didn't want to look at me in the eyes. He looked stiff, he looked nervous. There's no way this guy's ever gonna come over and beat me.
Finally, the unification fight Calzaghe has craved has arrived. The Lacey camp think Calzaghe is over the hill and that he's a man ready to be taken. As Calzaghe gets hit, he starts going into a tear-up. Remember, the left hand is the fragile one. He can't afford to have that one damaged.
Listen! By the way, solid jab now, basically 2 shots. I want 1 round now, you box his ass off.
Lovely right uppercuts.
It's all Calzaghe at the moment, but there's a long way to go, and a little contemptuous smile from Calzaghe.
You cannot keep that pace.
He's saying to him, don't worry, man, don't worry. He's gonna cool down now. Don't worry about that.
Look at that superb flurry of punches. I said, Murray, there might have been 9 or 10.
Round 8, the guy's looking at him, where's the cool down?
Dear me, that face is just a mess. Look at the eyes of Jeff Lacey.
Didn't beat him. Schooled him.
Fantastic. Winding up the right hand, shining the jab, eating with the left hook.
If it was a ballet, it would have been Nureyev. It was just magical. I can remember not sleeping for 2 days after that fight. A man dance with another man, like he was blessed, like something was shining on him, landing punches and avoiding punches like you've never seen before.
Joe's right foot was sort of nailed to the canvas because he would pivot on it on a 90 degree and just, and he was gone. And Lacey was punching mid-in.
Finally, he'd painted a masterpiece that you could see was there. 12 rounds of brilliance.
The Lacey fight is where he took off and where America went, what the fuck? Who's this guy?
Joe, with one hand, forced into the fight, didn't want the fight, truly delivers. That was one of the greatest performances I've ever seen live. It ignited something in the public and in the media.
Thanks to my dad. Without him, I wouldn't be here today. He's a great trainer, great dad, love him a bit. Thanks to my little kids, Joe and Connor. See you Monday. I love you both.
He's just come up to me and whispered in my ear, Dad, you're right. I was right. With an F in, of course. Dad, you're right. I told you, Joe. I told you, Joe. And we kissed each other.
Come on, they always had injections in. I remember us, right?
That's right.
When the Harley Street, and
an operation, and you parked the car and you forgot what to park the car.
That's
And
right, I walked all over the place, that's it.
And
You were saying, back in hand, my hand.
No, I was strapped up. You parked the car on the road somewhere, and you couldn't find it, and I was fucking running around
That's
for an hour. Fucking,
That's right, you're saying,
angry as hell.
my hand was
Yeah,
in.
because I was still coming off that anaesthetic. I didn't know what the fuck that was. And I just remember, I think it's down this street, I think it's down this street.
That's it, it was all over the place, everywhere the master plays, remember?
If I had two good hands, I reckon I really could have done
Yes,
it.
I couldn't believe that's it.
Two completely different characters, and maybe that's why they work. I mean, physically as well, they are Abbott and Costello. They are chalk and cheese. You would not pick them out in a room as father and son. And they act differently as well.
Mi piace molto, mi piace molto.
The energy that Enzo speaks with and enunciates with and flies around a room with is the same energy that Joe then explodes with when he fights.
Calzaghe's throwing punches by the dozen.
Referee might stop it, Jeff's having a look.
Referee's handing away, and he stopped it! He stopped the fight! Joe Calzaghe! That one came from nowhere!
A father and a son. If the son is fighting professionally, they are a unit.
This makes a formidable team. You see, your father will never mislead you. And your father is always going to tell you every single thing that is a liability.
I think he's thrown away. I think he's thrown away, Joe. I'm telling you fucking straight.
He always knew the corner. He always knew if I had a bad round, I could have 6 good rounds or 1 bad round. And he'd mouthing off and swearing and, come on, what's going on? But you know, he knew how to get to me.
There are lots of times when you have seen his father literally whipping him into action, whipping him into shape.
On fight night. I was not his dad, forget that. We were divorced.
And a couple fight on the floor. It stopped in the very first round. Joe Calzaghe, in sizzling style, retains his WBO Super Middleweight Championship.
Every time I went in the corner to him, he was confident. His eyes were with me, not looking round. Looking round where? Where? He's looked at me in the eyes and he would, I said, throw 3 Bs, trust me, do things. I said, do it.
Oh, he can't go on like this. He can like that. He stopped everything in 2 rounds. His father, Enzo Calzaghe, has been with him from the word go. He's the man who shaped this magnificent champion, and Calzaghe remains just that.
At times, you need a trainer who's a psychiatrist. At times, you need a mother. At times, you need a cheerleader. At times, you need a conditioner. At times, you need a boxing strategist. And the fact that Enzo, with really no boxing experience, was able to create a fighter, help create a fighter as good as Joe is absolutely mind-boggling. Forget the fact that he's his father, just that he was able to do that as a trainer was remarkable.
After beating Jeff Lacey, after beating Saki Obika, Joe needed a fight of magnitude, which justify him as the rightful owner of the ring belt, the rightful owner of the linear championship.
Mikko Kessler, by far, was the biggest name in my weight. I was the Ring Magazine champion, WBO champion, IBF champion. Mikko Kessler was obviously WBC, WBA champion, and he was undefeated in like 39 fights, so everything on the line.
For both of them, the main motivating factor was, we want to be recognised as the best super middleweight fighter in the world.
I know I can beat him. He don't hit that hard, and I can beat this guy.
Him and my dad got really close, and they were like, you know, shouting at each other. My granddad was shouting his manager, you know, all that kind of stuff happening.
Knock him out, Joe! Come on, Joe! Come on, Joe!
And that's when you know how real it really is, because when the fight gets first announced, it's weird, it's like 2 months away, you don't really think about it, going to school every day, and suddenly, the day before, going to bed, can't sleep because you know tomorrow it's going to be that fight night where your dad, you know, going to be in that ring fighting somebody like Miguel Kessler.
It was here in the old Cardiff Arms Park that Joe Calzaghe's career began back in 1993. Now he has what may be one of the toughest nights of his career.
A very, very late night fight to catch the premium market in the United States as well. 55,000 people at the Millennium Stadium. One of the biggest stadium fights we've ever seen.
Knowing that you're in Cardiff and everybody's turned up to see you, and it's a defining fight for you, and not only might you lose the fight, you'll lose your undefeated record. To actually take that pressure on board, it just takes unbelievable strength.
Trying to wing the shot around that straight left-hand lead of Kessler, who started well. That's a decent right hand from Kessler, and a good left jab, and now Kessler's starting to come in, and he's looking for Calzaghe. Good right hand, good work from Kessler.
Mikkel Kessler was fantastic. Strong, lovely movement, crisp timing, heavy shots. Mikkel Kessler was schooling him.
Great uppercut from Kessler. Calzaghe takes it though. Terrific shot from the Dane. And these are dangerous moments for Calzaghe.
The crowd had been silenced. The dragon wasn't breathing any fire.
Four titles. Do you want them? There's 4 titles. There's 4 titles. You can do better, Joe, okay? Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam.
You're hard, man. Your deadline is going to be even work out.
Calzaghe trying to work to the body and making Kessler miss. This is a better round for Calzaghe. Oh, this is better shot! Right hand from Calzaghe. Rocks back the head of Kessler.
What I was saying about Calzaghe, John, he can adapt and he can change his style.
That's what the great sports people do. Muhammad Ali could change the pattern of a fight. Lionel Messi can change the pattern of a match. And that's what we saw in this fight.
Good round, though, this for Joe Calzaghe. Good uppercut, left hand from Calzaghe. This is a big round for the Welshman. He's bossed this last minute.
Beautiful work. Can you keep it up, Joe? Can you keep it? Yeah, put right here 4 shots. Big deal.
We saw the athletic genius of Joe Calzaghe. His movement became different. He tied Kessler up. He began to sneak round.
I had timing, I had the shape, I was there, but you could adapt his boxing style, and that was something I was too young to understand then.
Calzaghe showing superb boxing skills there.
That desire in him, the heart, you have to give him 100 out of 100 for heart, Joe Calzaghe.
Of 35, maybe his biggest test has been this one.
After the fight, I said to him, let's have this rematch. He said, no, Miguel, tonight was my night. I think you're a little nervous right there. I could see that in your eyes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Is that true?
Yeah, well, obviously. When you fight in front of 50,000 people, man, I'm fighting you, knocked everybody out nearly, you know what I mean? Of course you're going to be a bit nervous, you know what I mean? It's like, I thought to myself, I think if I lose, man, I never think about losing, but I can never show my face in Cardiff again. They carry me out, mate. They carry me out.
My trainer, Jim Montoya, you know Jimmy, he's been in the corner.
My bandages.
Yeah, he said me, when you hit Calzaghe with that right, you should have come back with the left hook. I only threw the right hand, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Thanks. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, hey, your father is happy, that bastard. Oh, fuck, come on.
Come on, man.
As I said, I hate watching my fights when I lose, but this is good. This is okay.
Oh, thank you.
This is okay, man. I lost the fight, but I tried everything.
Good fight, my man.
Good fight, too.
I think even if there'd have been those of us who hoped Joe might say, I'm the undisputed super middleweight champion, there's nowhere else for me to go, I'll hang them up. It became obvious from what we were hearing from America that wasn't going to be an option for him. You know, all of a sudden, all the calls are coming to Frank Warren and they're coming to Joe Calzaghe of when can you get over here? And I think that was irresistible for him.
You need to go to the States to be recognized by the American press, by the American writers. You have to go there. So what I did, the week after the Kessler fight, bought my own ticket, went out to America, and the whole point of me going over was to bump into Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins was pound for pound one of the best in the world. I knew I wanted to fight that guy. Hopkins was in the press room, and I could see him come in, so I was doing interviews, and Hopkins was over the other side of the room. I remember him making his way towards me.
25 years of boxing on this face, man. It's for a reason. You fought because you fought over in Europe. Because you fought in Europe. You could be Kessler? You fought in Europe. Kessler is not in my league, man.
It was like the school playground. Fight. There's a fight going on over there. And of course, that's where Bernard famously said,
I would never let a white boy beat me.
You're going to lose. If you fight, you will lose. If you fight me, you will lose.
I'll never let a white boy beat me.
I ain't never been beaten by a white man. I ain't never been beaten by a white man. And we were just like...
And you can call it any statement you want. Anybody can print that I would never lose to a white person. I can't wait, man.
I thought, yes. I loved it. I thought, yes, this fight's going to get made right now. And all the cameras, before you realise it was on, rang up Frank Warren. I said, this, the fight's been made.
It always scares me when a fighter goes up a weight because you never know how their body's going to react to it. You know, will he keep his work rate up? You know, you're thinking the punches are perhaps going to have a bit more heft to them, but kind of like, will he be able to keep his work rate up? And Joe's work rate was always great. So I was scared for that fight.
he said when they came face to face, you're a small guy. You are this super middleweight they've been talking about.
You know, here's a man known as the Executioner who spent time in a penitentiary and at the age of what he was a very intimidating and terrifying man.
Every red-blooded American is going to be happy with the outcome. I'm going to kick his British ass come 18-19.
The 9-year-old Joe Calzaghe, the kid that had been bullied by the bullies, was fighting probably the biggest bully in boxing. But he was somebody who you thought, oh, this is going to maybe be a step too far for Joe.
Remember the weigh-ins, and I've been thousands of people queue up for a weigh-in, and all the Welsh flags, Welsh banners, and Hopkins come out, and they were booing him, and he must have looked in the crowd thinking, I'm fighting in my country, and it's like all Brits and that. It was brilliant, and you know, it's like no other. The British fans are the best. Welsh fans, British fans are amazing. They don't do it anywhere else in the world. And British fans will travel and come and watch you fight.
I remember when getting off the plane in Nevada, thinking, who turned off the lights in Wales when they left? Because everyone was in Las Vegas. You couldn't move for Dragons, and that's all you could hear was that slow, super Joe, super Joe, super Joe, super Joe, super Joe Calzaghe.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah,
we peaked at the anthem. It felt like Cardiff out there.
the amount of supporters who went out there, and everyone, so it was like that mini community going around. So, oh, you're from Wales, da 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 da.
Yeah.
And it was a great buzz.
7,000 people travelled over, which was extraordinary. The fans everywhere, just having a great time.
So many Welshmen there. Catherine Zeta-Jones and Tom Jones and Howard Stringer, the head of Sony, and all these crazy Welshmen.
Al Pacino as well. I just literally just remember shaking his hand as well. And I was like, this made that even better.
You know, you can feel the atmosphere, you know, but you don't really see anything.
The moment the world has been waiting for. 12 rounds of boxing for the linear and true light heavyweight championship of the world. Calzaghe. Bernard, the executioner.
Talking ends, the action begins. Calzaghe against Hopkins, 12 3-minute rounds. A good right hand. Hopkins has put Calzaghe down in the very first round. Calzaghe down with a clashing right hand from Hopkins.
6, 7, 8.
He goes down in the third, that's sort of straight right, and we're sort of meters away. You sort of hear the, you go, down he went, and we just went, this is it. We can end how we hoped it never would.
They're not really, no jabs. There's nothing there. Listen to me now, Joe. Listen to me. Are you listening, Joe? Yeah.
The chant is Wales, Wales.
Bring on.
Ben Hopkins is a very clever boxer. It was a really frustrating fight to watch, because
Calzaghe couldn't get into his flow.
He just couldn't get into
it. He was just smothering him.
He's just every chance he was just closing him down.
Hopkins here, he's constantly holding. I mean, he should be getting warned now off the referee.
Oh, stop!
He's holding again.
Joe knew already it's going to be a nasty fight. And as it was, it turned out to be the way. He went there to spoil Joe's style of boxing.
I want a clean round. I don't want any rough tactics. I don't want to start taking any new points. Give me a clean fight.
Do you want him to stop you? Or you want to stop him? That's the fucking way it's going to go. That's the way it's going to go. Are you with me now? Make your fucking up in the powder here, right? Right through the A's, through the A's.
The moments of cool composure in the Calzaghe corner have gone now. Calzaghe needs a big round.
Is starting to make his left hand produce music upstairs.
Can you keep it going, Joe? Yeah. How'd you feel? It feels good, Joe. Unload the left hand, start the left right leg.
Suck it for the right hand, come back to the left hook. Feint him, right hand, left hook is going to work all night long, I promise you.
I think the second and the fifth rounds could have gone either way. It's difficult to come to a conclusion as to who won the fight.
This guy's ready to be taken. You can start walking him down. You're the stronger man, okay?
This guy's knackered. He's knackered.
Better left arm, Calzaghe.
Joe Calzaghe going to finish the fight having landed more punches than anyone's ever landed against Hopkins in a CompuBox counted fight. Down goes Hopkins. What a low blow.
Hopkins is particularly annoying to me as a fight fan. I just hate the defensive stuff and the slowdown and the grab and the clutch and that. And I just can't stand that stuff. And Joe was a great anti that.
I wonder if Hopkins is choosing to stop Calzaghe's flowing momentum here. Is it an Oscar-winning performance, or did Calzaghe land the foul?
Hopkins still grimacing. Calzaghe waving to the fans, suggesting this one is now going his way.
I think
think this guy's ready to be knocked out? Yeah. Trust me! Trust me! Trust me!
Stop! Stop, come on, go.
Hopkins is claiming another low blow, but Cortez didn't see it.
You keep cheating, man.
Fucking cheat my ass! Don't worry about the cheating. What he's doing is what the fuck are you doing?
Finish strong, win the fight.
I enjoyed it.
You winning the fight.
Now let's finish strong.
It's over. You don't win this round, it's fucking over. You got to stop him.
Take another drink.
You got to stop him.
This could be a difficult fight to score.
American judges tend to favor aggression fighters, fighters who come forward.
There was no real consensus of who was winning the fight, and I can honestly say that when the bell rang and we went to the cards, no one around me with any conviction had an idea one way or the other who was going to get the decision.
Punches continuing after the bell, and both men celebrate.
We go to the scorecards. Adelaide Bird scores at 114, 113 for Bernard Hopkins. Ted Gimza scores at 115 to 112 for Joe Calzaghe. Chuck Jampa scores it 116 to 111 to the winner by split decision from Newbridge, Wales.
The celebrations begin. Aggression has paid. The judges have gone for the man who forced the fight, and Joe Calzaghe has got off the floor in the first round to win this one. There were a few tears down there when the verdict was delivered.
From South Wales. From Newbridge, South Wales. Me and Joe, honestly, probably.
Yeah, gone mad, mate. It took only 5 seconds, but it felt like ages, man. Like just waiting, like silence, and then the new ring maggot. Oh man, it was amazing. That was the best minute, man. That was good.
Still gives you goosebumps, man. Still gives.
It was good.
Me and Giuseppe.
We kept asking him if he was going to retire, but he kept, you know, one last fight.
I just wanted to retire. You know?
Yeah. After he got knocked down as well in the first round. See him from knocking all them people out and then, you know, him fighting in America and getting knocked down in the first round again. Just don't want to go through that ever again, man.
They broke their heart when they saw their father box.
Connor.
They absolutely broke their heart. And they said to him, please, Dad, please, not again, I don't want to do it, please, Dad.
I said, myself, don't retire. I said, what, you can beat Rocky Marciano's record by all means. He said with me straight in my eyes, Dad, I had lost the hunger. When I heard that word, I lost the hunger. That to me was, that's it. So,
you know, 25 years in the sport, as hard as boxing, is a long time. And then when your body's starting to break up, which it was, pain, I couldn't spar, big, massive pillows for gloves, and, you know, everything aches more in the morning. I think I was 36 at the time.
It was terribly important to Joe that he was undefeated. And I think eventually, when you get the accumulative problems with pain, difficulty in training for fights, that inevitably leads you to the point at which, am I going to be able to get one more fight? One more fight too far may not just be pain, it may be defeat.
You got the sense that he couldn't go on much longer because there was so much pressure on him not losing. The idea of having won in the loss column was actually destroying him in really deep psychological ways.
It made me feel that I've got to be a father. I knew that enough is enough. I changed from training to become a father.
I didn't want to keep fighting until I couldn't fight no more. I wanted to fight with something left in the tank. I told my dad, the next fight's gonna be my last one.
Who better to face than another American ring legend, Roy Jones Jr.? A man the same size as Joe, but when he steps into a ring, he looks 6'6" because of his extraordinary wingspan and reach and speed.
Roy's ready. He's more ready now than he's ever been in the fights that I've trained him for the last 18 years.
There was no one else, really. No one of that stature.
So far, who's got the 45-0, mate? Who's got the 45-0? Stand up and praise Joe Calzaghe. He's got 45-0. And on the fight night, it'll be 46-0. The answer goes for Joe Calzaghe. Thank you.
I started my career fighting one of the greatest fighters there's been. And fighting in Madison Square Garden, you know, that's all the motivation I need. On Saturday night, you're not going to see a good fight, you're going to see a great fight.
No one wants to miss the end of what has been an extraordinary and, remember, unbeaten career. But there's a fear that the great Welsh champion, the Italian Dragon, might lose his last fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden, New York City, USA. Introducing first, from Pensacola, Florida, a future Hall of Famer, Roy Jones Jr. Introducing fighting pride of Newbridge, Wales, former undisputed super middleweight world champion and reigning, defending, undefeated, light heavyweight champion of the world, Joe Calzaghe. 12 rounds of boxing for the light heavyweight championship of the world.
Okay, gentlemen, we went over the rules of the dressing room. Obey my commands at all times and protect yourself at all times. Touch him up, bell ring, come out fighting. Okay, gentlemen.
Joe Calzaghe, Roy Jones Jr. here in New York for the Ring Magazine Light Heavyweights Championship of the World.
I don't know that Roy Jones ever fought anybody that was faster than he was until he got in the ring with Joe. And I'm not sure Joe ever fought anybody who was faster than he was until he got in the ring with Roy.
Okay, break!
I literally thought my dad was Superman. I thought he's like invincible.
We were in a frenzied state of terror that it could all come undone, you know, on the biggest stage of the boxing world.
I didn't see it. You didn't see it because you stay so straight. the combination. You've got to bring the fight to him. You've got to go and finish him off. Are you now? Yeah, the jab went weak. You went weak in the jab out.
There's blood on the bridge of Calzaghe's nose. Calzaghe has to dig out a hole.
He can't put the winning method in his life, in his heart, while he's boxing, that comes from himself personally. There's something that creeps in his mind. I shall not lose.
Calzaghe unfazed. Goes at it with his hands held low. Throws one punch at a time, and Calzaghe throws 6.
Roy Jones Jr. was the ultimate showboater. He could do everything. He could knock a man out 5 feet away across a ring with a punch they never saw. So Joe begins to showboat. He rolls the shoulders, he shuffles, he does everything.
I mean, Calzaghe is standing in front of Roy Jones with his hands down, showboating.
It's abundantly clear, at least with body language, Calzaghe is trying to portray to the audience and to the judges that he has weathered the storm. He has dominated round 3.
Don't be nothing careless. Don't be nothing careless. Good job. Good job, Joe. Are you happy with yourself? Are you happy with yourself?
Left hand by Calzaghe, follows it up with a couple of body shots. Another flurry by Calzaghe. Roy may be momentarily hurt.
He's hurt. Straight left.
Blood above the left eye of Roy Jones.
Joe was sticking his face out. He was just sticking his face out and just screwing with Roy's brain. And Roy had done this for years to people.
Roy's never experienced this, and I think that the fact that Joe can do this all night.
And then when I was watching that, I thought, that's jazz. It's smooth, it's silky, it's sneaky, it's syncopated, it's just jazz.
Calzaghe dropping his hands and staring at Jones and watching the blood flow and going back to work.
He did everything but knock Roy Jones Jr. out, and he probably was there for the taking. Why didn't Joe knock him out? Maybe because he wanted to savor those last 36 minutes. It was as if he was saying, I've loved this. I want you all to see me doing everything I can do here today, and it's goodbye.
And it was like my life was flicking through like all my career, like where I started. I was counting down the rounds in my head. Just looking around thinking, look where I am. finish on my own terms. Money can't buy that. Money can't buy that.
Very few fighters go out on their terms in that way.
I could literally name on 5 fingers the fighters in my era that have gotten out with their faculties, with their money, and with their pride. I give him a lot of credit, and it says a lot about his sense of self and the understanding he had that he had more than half his life still to live after boxing.
People still talk about him, and people kind of still want him to be around. You know, and there are not many people that once they go away, you know, the only thing that people start talking about is just like, you know, I wish he was still here again. You know, that's a big achievement.
If I had flags, I would put the flags up, really. Well, you see now, I've just...
It was unreal seeing my dad, after all he's done, really be appreciated. I just felt that was like the best moment ever. Like, so proud of him, like. That's probably my proudest moment ever. I respect him as a father for what he's done for us. Nobody knows, you know, what my dad went through to get there from a little kid. That's what I feel anyway.
Want to come in, Joe?
Never happened. It wasn't us. It couldn't be us. No way. Look at the members. That's there. It's us.
No, he's my best friend and a great dad. And he's an awesome trainer. I could pay him back for the way he brought me up, and also for instilling that animal in me that I become in the ring. Would refuse to be beat, refuse to be knocked down. If you get knocked down, you get back twice as bad. And that was me. I refused to lose. That was instilled in me, so thanks, Dad. It's been a brilliant ride. I'm a happy man and I'm thankful for everything I've got. Nothing's come close to family, children, and health. Nothing matters unless you got that.
You never be forgotten. What you are is eternal. And listen, Joe put in a lot of work. He fought a lot of tough guys. He beat Bernard. He had he beat the who of his division of his time. He chose to retire early. That's on him. He still, I believe he still had a lot of good fights left. Flock would have been a great fight for him in England or Wales. One of those arenas, that would have been a financial money breaker. It would have broke some records. But he chose to retire early. I have much respect for him. Matter of fact, he got his bones of becoming a consummate fighter under my cards. A lot of my cards when I fought in Europe, he fought on all the undercards and looked at the station he was in as well.
I think he's the greatest British fighter we've ever had, to be honest with you.
And he's a great fighter, a great mechanic in the ring, and he understands what it is to win. He totally eradicated the word losing out of his vocabulary.
He comes from a division where in England we had a wonderful era back in the day with Ben, Eubank, and
I mean, to have your dad in your corner, you're not going to get ripped off. You've got your old man here who loves you.
Father don't let you slide. Father know who you are.
There's always a strong bond. There's got to be a massive. It's one of the most important things in boxing, the bond between trainer and son. And when your father, when you look in his eyes, is obviously, the trust is there.
Well, it's always going to be different strokes for different folks. But Tito Trinidad and his dad, same thing as Enzo and Joe. So you got enough. You got something there that's that familial tie.
They both respect each other. They know they respect the boundaries of each other's ideology, of course. And so that makes it just looks good. It's very, very rarely at the end of the game it looks good. It still looks good.
I think you could have gone on. I think you could have gone out there and smashed Carl Fletch, all of them. I think he could still do it now. I can only beat the old man. Where's his son? Where's his son?
Congratulations, Joe. God bless. Keep on keeping on. I love you.
He got the life now. He doesn't have to. He's living the life.